Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video, and I'm excited to say we finally have some new content or new things that will be coming soon to the official game. So we have an update on the PTB, and this is where they basically try to test things out, and they did update a lot of dinosaurs, and we're going to go over it in this video. We're going to be doing a full overview of everything that changed in this PTB. We're going to start off with the dinosaur changes, and then we're going to just start off with the overall changes after that. And as always, if you guys want to stay up to date with anything new coming out to the game or new content, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Now, I'm not going to make the video super long. I'm going to try to do this as quick as we can. So first, we're going to start off with the Deinonychus and the changes that they've made to it. The first one is the Rapper Strikes. He has a new biting ability, and this is a quick attack that increases in power with each hit, which means it'll probably be weak, but after every bite, it will get stronger and stronger, potentially doing a lot of damage. And you can now use Tail Fan while you're crouching as well. When this move is activated, you get a quick boost of speed, which you couldn't do while you were crouching before, but now you can do it while you're also crouching or standing. But now we have the Laten, and the Laten also has the new Raptor Strikes ability, which increases power within each bite. And they also increase the bite rate on his regular bite, which means he bites a lot faster when you use his regular bite attack. Now we have the Concave. They did change the description of the Scabbing Blood Hide, which increases bleed healing by 40%. Apparently a lot of people didn't know what it meant before, but now they made it more simple to where it increases your bleed healing by 40%, which is actually really good. He also has a all-for-one senses ability, which is now brand new. You gain 3% damage increase when you're in a group with other medium-sized carnivores, and you can stack this up to 5 times. That is really good. I mean, if you had to compare this to Nictitating Membrane, you should pick all-for-one basically all the time, especially if you're going to play in groups. Maybe if you play solo you can go Membrane, but in groups definitely put this on. And then we have the Metri. I don't know why the Metri looking so brolic right now, bro. He actually looks big. Yo, he looks bigger than what I think. Maybe because I haven't used him in a while, or I don't know if they actually changed him, but damn, he looks like a fucking monster. The Metri no longer has venom bites, so he has a regular bite now. It's no longer venom, so he cannot apply venom to any dinosaur. Now he still has putrid scales, which means anyone that attacks him will still take poison damage, which is really good. What they wanted to do is make him more of a healing dino, so they did give him some healing abilities, starting with a healing call, which increases your healing rate of all party members within 30 meters for 40 seconds. He has a new voice call called Hustle. This increases your group's trotting speed by 20% for 2 minutes while out of combat. You have Intimidating Screech, which decreases the nearest creature's damage by 30% for 15 seconds. Wow, that's actually really good. So you can activate this and decrease your opponent's damage for 15 seconds by 30%. Yo, that is insane. And then you have Primal Mend, which is a call that increases your healing rate by 10 times for 25 seconds. You can only put 2 voice calls on at a time, but man, these are a big buff. This is a major buff for the Metri. I'd rather have these than have Venom, honestly. They did give him a new Balanced Arm ability, which increases your turn radius, or you can put on the Claw attack. Now you can only put 1 on at a time, so if you want to do maximum damage, you probably should put on the Claw attack. He did get a new ability called Lone Hunter, which you gain 10% increase attack damage when you're not in a group. So if you're a solo player, this will be perfect for you. And once this officially releases in the official servers, we're going to do another Is It Worth Growing on every dino that changed. And man, I can already tell you the Metri is going to be worth growing. I can just tell you off this moveset alone. Then we have the Cerato. For one, they gave him a Thrashing attack, which is a powerful bite attack that also damages you for 25% of the damage inflicted. So if that sounds confusing, what I think it means is when you bite a dinosaur, it will also damage yourself 25% of whatever damage you inflict. So if you do 50 damage to a dino, you will get 25% of that damage back on you. Now I know that sounds like a negative, but that means that this move must do a ton of damage, and once they actually release in the full game, I will do some like damage testing on that to see how strong it is. He also has the all-for-one senses ability, which you gain a 3% damage increase when you're in a group with other medium-sized carnivores. He has a brand new kick ability, which is a kick attack that causes medium damage. He also has a new shoving ability, which is where you lunge forward and you can knock back enemies. You only put 1 of these on, so I'm assuming the kick one, if you're doing more PvP, would be more beneficial than just the shove. And then for tail attack, he has a brand new armored tail ability, which is where damage and status status effects inflicted to your tail is dramatically reduced. So if someone's biting you and they're biting your tail, you would take a lot more reduced damage and it won't do that much. He used to have a leap and survivalist, which apparently they removed for the PTB, and it might be removed when it officially gets released, but I'm not sure. But as of right now, he no longer has the leaping ability or the survivalist ability. Then we have my favorite, which is the Meg. The Meg now has a voice call called Toxic Scream. This increases your outgoing venom damage by 50% for 10 seconds. So you're really going to be a big venom machine here. With the Meg, he's already evasive and fast, so having extra venom would be crazy insane, especially if you're in packs. So this is a major buff. He also has the brand new all-for-one senses, where you gain 3% extra damage when you're in a group with other medium-sized carnivores. And the Meg now only requires 2 group slots as well when he's in a group. Then we have the Alioramus, who's always been a flimsy dino in the game, but let's see what they changed. For one, they did give him the Lone Survivor ability, which is where you gain 10% armor increased and increased maneuverability when you're not in a group. Perfect for solo players. They also have the all-for-one senses, which we went over already. This is good if you're going to play in a group. And that's basically all they changed for the Alioramus. And then we have the Dasp, and the Dasp didn't get that much change. They did give him a new piercing bite, which deals a low amount of damage, but ignores armor and weight of the target. That is interesting. So no matter what, even if a dinosaur has an extra hide on or extra armor, this bite basically pierces through that to where the armor doesn't even protect you from this bite. And it also says the weight of the target doesn't matter. So does that mean if he bites something a bigger combat weight, will that not factor into the bite? That's going to be interesting, and we're definitely going to have to test that out in the future. And then we have the Sucho, and they actually buffed the Sucho a little bit when it comes to extra abilities. So they gave him Lone Hunter, which is where you gain 10% increased attack damage when you're not in a group. They're really catering to the solo players more, which is what I really love, because not everyone is always in a group, so solo players would have more of a chance to defend themselves if they were to get into a fight or get jumped. He has a brand new Claw Barrage. This is a quick attack that increases in power with each hit. So similar to the Deinocherius' new bite, this is the same thing but with a claw. So the more times you claw something, the more damage you're going to be doing with each claw. They also gave him web claws, which increases your swim speed and swim turning speed by 10%. He now has a stomping ability, which is a heavy stomp with his front feet, but you must be standing still to use. I've never really been a fan of stomping attacks unless it's on like the Alberta, so I probably will not be using the stomp on the Sucho. And then we have the Allosaurus, who I feel like has been getting no love for a while when it comes to updates. He never really gets any buffs. He just seems to get nerfed, but now they actually gave him a new ability and is a new hatchet bite attack. It's a bite that causes bleed. So normally he had a regular bite attack and he had claws. The claws was the only thing that can do bleed, but now you have a bite attack that does bleed. You can only put on one bite attack at a time, so hopefully that move will be good in PvP situations. Then we have the Pycno, who I think was well needed for a buff. They gave him a new voice call, which is called Bulldozer. This boosts your knockback by 25% for 30 seconds for you and all nearby group members, and you can stack this up 3 times. So imagine if you have Pycnos in your group and you do this, you can do major knockback when it comes to your charge and your headbutt attacks. He also has Armored Tail, which is where you don't take that much damage if you're getting attacked in the tail part. And then he has Horn Swipe, which is a brand new ability that causes heavy knockback. So you have the regular headbutt, which also does a little bit of knockback, but then you have Horn Swipe, which will do heavy knockback. So this can be really good when you mix it in with your new voice call. And then we have the Sarco, who a lot of you guys still think is very weak, especially after his big HP nerf. Now they did give him a new ability, and I can't say this word, asphyxiating snap, however you say it. This is where it drains oxygen from your target and deals low damage. So if you're fighting other aquatics in the water, like Sarcos, Megs, Spinos, whatever, when you hit them with this bite, you will be draining their oxygen a lot faster. So that's going to put them in trouble in the water, where they're going to basically start drowning if they don't get to land. And that can be very good. I noticed they removed the ripping bite, which is one of my favorite moves. I hope that's not permanent. I hope the ripping bite will come back. But as of right now, they disabled it. So hopefully they don't replace it with this move, because I'd rather have the ripping bite over this. They also added in the Drench Blows, which deals 10% increased damage to wet targets. so you're going to do a lot more damage as well. And then they also gave him the armored tail ability, which I don't think would be the best one in this category. I'd rather still go with lunge, but I'll say that's decent progress for the Sarco. Then we have the big boy, the Spino. Let's see what they changed with the Spino. They gave him Lone Survivor, which is a 10% armor increase and increased maneuverability when you're not in a group, perfect for solo players. They gave him a new Webbed Claws ability, which increases your swim speed and swim turning speed by 10%. And you can also put this on at the same time with your claw attack, which is very good. They also disabled his crushing bite, so he no longer has the crushing bite. And they also gave him a stomping ability, which is a heavy stomp with his front feet. You must be standing still to use. As to why they would give a Spino a stomping ability, I have no idea. So it probably won't be my favorite move on him. Then we have the T-Rex, who has been getting no love these past updates. But they did give him a new face tanking ability, which you take 30% reduced damage from hits to the head, neck, and your chest. Perfect if you're gonna obviously face tank other dinosaurs, hence the name. So if you're going face to face with another Rex or anything, you will take reduced damage. But if that Rex also has this on, then he's also going to take reduced damage, so it's going to be basically back to normal, which is pretty funny. You can only put on 2 abilities at a time, so choose carefully on what you want to use. He also has the Lone Hunter, which is where you gain 10% increased attack damage when you're not in a group. And he also has a stomping ability, which he uses his feet to stomp, and you must be standing still to use. I think that's pretty funny. Then we have the Pachy, one of the most funnest dinos to just troll with and have some fun with. They didn't really give him any new moves. All they did was fix his subspecies descriptions, and they fixed his look around emote, which is where he looks side to side, and that's really it. Then we have the little guy, the Kentro, and all they gave him was a new shoulder check ability, which is where he lunges forward, knocking back any enemies. For the Styra, they didn't really give him any new abilities. They just disabled his stomping attack for right now. And then we have the Alberta, and the Alberta has a new Enrage voice ability, which increases your damage by 15% for 30 seconds. Now, it doesn't say it's going to work in a group, so this will basically be if you're solo, which is actually really good. So you're going to get some extra damage here, which will be perfect for solo PvP. And then we have the Lambeo, who's always been a pretty solid to average dino, nothing really crazy about it, besides the fact that he can heal his teammates. They did give him a new Primal Mend voice call, which is a call that increases your healing rate by 10 times for 25 seconds. Like I said, the Lambeo has always been like the team medic or support dino, perfect for healing your group and keeping everyone alive. They also gave it the Lone Survivor ability, which is where you get 10% armor increase and increased maneuverability when you're not in a group. And then they gave him the Armored Tail, which is where his tail will take less damage. And then we have the Stego, and they only gave him the Lone Survivor ability as well, and he now takes up 4 group slots. And the Iguanodon, they also gave him the Lone Survivor ability, which I feel like is a good thing. They're basically giving every dino a chance when you're a solo player. So they're giving like basically every dino the Lone Survivor ability, which is basically no negatives to it. And then we have the Duck, who I actually haven't used in a while. Used to be one of my favorite dinos to use. They also gave it the Lone Survivor ability, and they gave him 2 voice calls. So the first one is called Goose Honk, which increases your knockback for your attacks for 30 seconds. Or you have a hissing voice call, which reduces incoming damage by 65% for 20 seconds. That's going to make this thing even more of a tank, and that's actually pretty scary. So if I had to choose a voice call to go with, I would say Hiss would be the best one. And they also gave him Drenched Blows, which deals 10% increased damage to wet targets. And because he's semi-aquatic, that is very good. Then we have the Bars. There was no real changes, but they did also give him the Lone Survivor ability. Then we have the EO Trike, who was also given the Lone Survivor ability. They also increased the area of effect damage when it comes to his stomping, and they updated his stat multipliers as well. For the Kaiwhekea, there was no real changes, but they did also give him the Lone Survivor ability. And then we have the Thalasso. He was given the Lone Hunter ability, which is where you gain 10% increased attack damage when you're solo. He has Flock Migration, also a new ability. Decreases stamina use when flying by 10% for each flyer nearby in your group. You can stack this to 4 times. So if you're with a group of Thalassos and you're using this, then you can fly a lot longer and have better stamina. And that is really it when it comes to all the changes that they made to the dinosaurs in the PTB. Now, other than that though, they did say they're working or updating all the base multipliers for a lot of dinosaurs' attacks, like the bone break, stamina recovery, damage multipliers, everything. So as you guys can see, the devs have been working hard behind the scenes to do this next major update. Now obviously I will make another video when they release this into the official game. That way we can do some testing and have some fun. If you guys want to join me for that testing and help me test out some dinos, you could always add me on Discord, SimplyAmazingYT, to send me a friend request. And yeah, if I ever need help doing a video or to test something out, I can hit you guys up. But if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. If you're excited, make sure you guys subscribe so you keep up to date with all the news. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.